Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Werder Bremen 1, Bayern Munich 2. And at the end of that game, I think Bayern Munich will say that they've been in a fight. They've come out of a fight because the reality is, even at 2-0 up, Bayern Munich, I don't think looked at their fluent best. They didn't look at their, like the effervescent best. They had been through the ringer, really, from Werder Bremen. They made life tough. They made life difficult. So even at 2-0 was tough. And then when it came 2-1, it just became a bit nervy towards the end there. But Bayern get the 3 points. They now 4 points clear of Dortmund. And Dortmund, the thing for Dortmund is they've just got to keep winning. They're putting that pressure back on Dortmund. Dortmund have to keep finding a way to win and just keep the pressure on Bayern and hope that somewhere in the next 3-4 games, Bayern will slip up and allow Dortmund to get ahead. But at the moment, that's not going to happen, at least this weekend, because Bayern picked up the 3 points and now they put the pressure back on Dortmund to get the 3 points. The goal, I think we saw some good goals. I mean, that goal from Gnabry is pretty good. It's a lesson in perseverance. The reality is Bayern actually dominated most of that first half. The problem was that they just let Werder Bremen back into it with some sloppiness, and that's been a feature of their season throughout. Like Bayern Munich seem to be in control and then have a moment of madness or a moment of casual play in there, and then they just allow the other team to get back in and get the upper hand. So it almost happened for Werder Bremen as well until they just couldn't get the final shot, the final decision making right. And as I've always said this, this doesn't matter if you're on top unless you can make it count in a game. And then that's what it is. Werder Bremen, when they had their moments on top, they just didn't make them count. And that's just how it panned out, really. And then once Bayern had the opportunity, they took it. They made it 1-0. Gnabry with the finish, and then Sane with the fantastic second goal. That's probably one of the better goals that we'll see. Better team goals that we'll see over the weekend, at least. I mean, just nice little interplay, good pass. It's a beautiful pass. Joao Cancelo actually starts that move on the left back side. And it reaches Sane, and Sane just passes the ball into the back of the net. It's a beautiful finish. Interesting to see what Sane's future holds, because I think he's someone who's shown flashes of brilliance. I don't think he's shown that he's good enough for Bayern Munich. At the level that Bayern Munich want, which is kind of surprising when you think about how good Sane and Mane were in the Premier League, and then they come to the Bundesliga and they just look a little bit average in there. But it'll be interesting to see whether Sane stays or whether he tries to find another club. But it was 2-0, and you think at that point at Bayern just see it out, just close the doors, just get the win and move on. But Schmid, probably with the goal of the weekend so far that I've seen, I mean, it's a fantastic finish. It's a shot is good. And it's just a beautiful finish there that's applied in the top corner. I know somebody was saying that if there was a bigger goalkeeper could have saved. I think that's very, very much in the corner. I think Sommer could as well to get a palm to it. What I will say though is I don't think Sommer is the answer to the Manuel Neuer question. I don't think he's a replacement. I don't think he's the guy who's going to succeed Manuel Neuer. Let me just put it this way. I think he's been pretty underwhelming. They'll need somebody to replace Neuer at some point, if not next season, then the season after that. But I don't think Sommer is going to be that guy. They're going to have to find someone else and someone from somewhere who can take over. Not sure who that's going to be, but they're going to have to look for someone because, and it's not going to be Sommer, that's for sure. I don't think he commands that same sort of respect from his defense. I don't think he's that commanding player in that goal area that Neuer is for Bayern Munich. So that's something to think about, of course, for the summer. But I mean, it was 2-1, and you thought maybe Werder Bremen could have done it. They have form for it. They were 2-0 down to Dortmund, 89th minute, then come back and win 3-2. So, but as Dortmund, this is Bayern. They're a little bit better than that, and they don't allow teams usually to come back from 2-0 down, and they didn't here, and they saw it out and they saw the win. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I think Joao Cancelo looks much better on the left than he does on the right. I think that's just a fair point to make. The problem for Joao Cancelo is that ahead of him at left back is Alphonso Davies, and you can't not play Davies at left back because he's just he's a live buyer, really. I mean, he's probably the one who makes the attack tick from that left back position. I mean, as good as Cancelo is, I don't think you can sacrifice. At the moment, I don't think Cancelo has done enough to justify that he should be starting ahead of Alphonso Davies. That might change though. But for now, I think that's where it is. So he's probably going to have to play the right back, or he's going to have to find a different position. But I thought Cancelo had a good game. I just the thing about Bayern is that they're not playing. Individually, the game is they're not playing badly. The problem is, as a team, they're not clicking. I mean, there's so many opportunities where Cancelo and Mane didn't click together, Sane and Mane weren't clicking together. There are issues there in terms of how they play. And Musiala on the left hand side looks good, but then at times he also is failing to link up. So I think that team chemistry, that cohesion has not come for Bayern this season. That's been the difference. I think individually, you can't really say that anybody has played badly or has had an awful season. there have been average performance. And I think in this game, you could probably say maybe Mane was not at his best. You could say some players are not at their best. But the reality is, ultimately, it's that team chemistry that's lacking. That's really pulling players down and pulling the team down because they're not able to get that cohesiveness which they had in previous years. So that's something, whoever the manager is, whether that's going to be Tuchel, whether that's going to be somebody else, they're going to have to figure out how they're going to make that whole system work, because at the moment it's broken and it needs repairing. So that's something there. From Werder Bremen's point of view, I mean, really the fact was that for them, really it was about getting that first goal somehow and then holding on, or delaying Bayern to score that first goal for as long as possible. But they succeeded in the first task where they made sure that Bayern had to wait for that first goal. But the reality is that, again, it was just the issue was not being able to really test Sommer enough in that final third. Aside from the Schmid goal, not really creating any clear-cut chances. They had good opportunities, they just couldn't take them, and good openings, but just couldn't make more of them. And that's something that they'll have to think about. But otherwise, they did their best. The only thing you can say about Werder Bremen is they tried their best and they made sure that they got at Bayern, and when they gave Bayern a scare. And I think maybe that'll be something for them to build on as well. But let's see what happens now, because it's over to Dortmund and they've got to win the next game, of course, tomorrow, to be able to put pressure back on Bayern to then get the result. So it's going to be interesting. It's been a while since we had a title race in the Bundesliga, so it's good to see that's happening. I still feel Bayern will win it. I think that turning point was the last period where Dortmund had gone ahead of Bayern and then they let it slip again. I think that was the part where I think they will feel that they've lost it. But I still feel Bayern will win it, just because they have the experience now of being ahead and staying ahead. But we'll see what happens. Of course, there's still that big game against Leipzig to come. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts on Bayern's performances. Where do you think they need to improve? Or do you think they were better, good? Maybe something I missed. Please let me know. Of course, point that out in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys. Smash like for this video. Congratulations to all the Bayern fans for the win. Smash like for Bayern as well if you enjoyed them winning. And subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always love to have your support. We'll probably do one more video today. We've got the Copa del Rey final coming, so we're going to do reactions for that as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.